What's up? It's Caleb from GameGlyph. Remember that really awesome movie in 1989, Batman by Tim Burton with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson? That movie was like the tits. It was completely awesome. And they actually made a decent game for the regular Nintendo that came out. It's called Batman. And it was, pretty far from the source material, but it had some cutscenes and stuff like that from the movie. It was pretty much awesome. It was put out by SUNSOFT, but it was actually made by the mighty Konami. And they wanted to follow that game up, of course, as they tend to do, because you got to milk those franchises, And so they ended up making another game called Batman: Revenge of the Joker. Now they lost the Konami team that went on, to do other much better things, obviously. And what we got left was this really turdy game. It makes absolutely no sense. And it came out in 1992 on the Sega Genesis, and it came out a little bit earlier on the regular Nintendo. They're pretty similar, but they're both terrible and hilarious looking, to say the least. And the main point of the game is it's like a Contra clone, and you shoot, and you can get powers for your gun and stuff like that. Everybody always thinks of Batman running around with a gun, blowing people's brains out. But the game I'm going to show you, and it's a big fat, unctuating turd. It's a feculent wafer. I hate this game. It's very disappointing. I remember renting it as a kid for my Sega Genesis. Be like, oh yeah, Batman, heck yeah! And took it home, and it sucked. And I remember this being really disappointing, going back and playing the regular one on Nintendo, and it being a million times better and more satisfying. So here's this really dirty game. And by the way, it was never actually officially released on the Super Nintendo. They were gonna do it, and they were gonna port it from the Sega. It was gonna be, basically the same thing, of course, with slightly different music. But they never did. But I happened to run across a ROM of the unfinished, copy of the game, which is out there in the wild. You could play it if you want to. So that's what this footage is coming from, the Super Nintendo version, or the canceled Super Nintendo version. And it sucks as much as you could possibly expect. So here it is. Okay, let's just look at this game. First of all, that's the people that obviously brought it to us. Okay, but the SUNSOFT, SUNSOFT, thank you, SUNSOFT, for just taking over everything. And here he is. Batman! Look how scary and old I am. Look at me. I like the yellow. I like the use of the yellow. That's always fun. There should be more yellow in Batman's costume. He should look more like a bird. And the clouds. Because clouds and Batman are just one. You think of just clouds every time you think of Batman, and vice versa. Every time I look in the sky, I think of how bad this game looks and why the flames are pink. I don't know why the flames are pink, and I'm probably intoxicated from those fumes off of whatever chemical is burning back there. And, so I'm going to shoot things because I'm Batman, and that's what I do. I shoot things. Batman is known for being an excellent marksman. He is very famous for being a sniper. And he probably killed JFK, or at least trained the guy that did. He's also, very famous for jumping up giant floating rocks and towers. But I do like the way the bricks look in the background. I would like to live in a home that has that consistent of brick mason work. Look at this gun. I mean, it's ridiculous that you would actually power up to that. If Batman was capable of using this weapon and did use guns like this, I'm pretty sure he would just start with the gun that creates instant bullet hell for everything on screen, and simultaneously turn that very nice gentleman, into a Ninja Turtle. These guys are obviously Sith Lords, and they're going to emit their Sith electricity, killing me over and over again. But at least I get to see my Batman clouds, which is a good theme to keep going with here. As you can see, this game plainly sucks in every possible way, and it just seems to be some kind of like Uncle Fester Contra, poorly put together, just absolute cash grab, shovelware, turd burglar, basically, and it completely sucks and makes no sense and really isn't Batman. Now, if this had been another game that wasn't Batman, that was just like, some guy, I don't care if it was Dolph Lundgren running around in a pink mesh shirt, killing people, that would be fine. That'd be better than this. But for this to be a Batman game and to be the SUNSOFT, follow-up to the regular Nintendo game, which I personally love, and is absolutely a great game. It's hard as iron balls, but it's a really good game. This game is no follow-up. This is no sequel. This game, well, it quite obviously sucks. And look at this gun. And you can hold down the attack button sometimes, and it does this weird attack, but I'll probably just die instead because that seems to be something that I'm a little bit better at least in this part of the game. Believe it or not, I've actually managed to get through a lot of this game, and almost to the end. And I've seen some videos of the end, and I know it's not worth it. I am good at dying right there, though, and it's worth it to see the clouds. But I have seen farther into this game, and there's nothing great about this game. The levels are mostly left to right. Occasionally you platform up and down, but it is pretty generic and pretty boring and absolutely awful. And I would probably give this game like a 35 out of 50, or a 40 out of 100, or a 10 out of a 9 zillion, or an apple out of a crayon, or something like that. This game is basically a stale fart that once emitted into the room and unclaimed by anyone around you is instantly and just unrecognizably the most potent, terrible smell of death and decay that you can't escape from, that will not leave the room. It's like the fart that's in a chair, and you leave and you think the fart will be gone, but you come back to work the next day, you sit down in the chair and expect to be comfortable, and then poof, this fart smell comes. And that is this game. It should not exist. It should not be a Batman game. I could expect this, to be like some other, or even like a really bad, Contra game, but this is a Batman game, people. This is pathetic. So, anyways, here we are trying to kill gargoyles that animate with my, laser homing air gun, and I finally figured out a way. You have to hold, the attack button down, and it does the secondary attack, which is a lot more powerful. And see, that red attack is like super powerful. Now this is kind of cool. I like this Zeppelin. I like this mode graphics, but that's the end of the level, and then boom, a picture of Batman. I mean, he kind of looks cool sitting there with his underwear like a pervert, and his bat wings going this way and that. But what is DNCN? What does that mean? Like, what level am I in? So this is one of those auto-scrolling, Zeppelin in the background levels, which is kind of similar to a level in Contra, which you would probably be familiar with, a certain particular Contra game. But again, this game is too busy sucking. So I don't even really want to get to the end of this level, even though I did. I promise, and I may even do a Let's Play of this eventually, but I just want to tell you guys that this is not the game to play if you're wanting a Batman experience, unless you want a Batman, ejaculating out of his wrist experience like what's happening right now. And it looks like he's ejaculating swastikas. I don't know. It's pretty awful. Maybe it's the Wheel of Time. I don't know. There's unlimited continues, so if you want to torture yourself, you can get through this game. But I wouldn't. I would give this game, a single fart out of an ocean full of diarrhea. This game really isn't even worth noting, other than that it is bad and that it should be avoided. So, there it is. Batman.